Benvenuti scholars, so your dissertation is done and you're going to go to form and format? Well, I have two colleagues. One is my bride, Dr. Markette, and one is Dr. Sonya Berges, and they're going to show you how to get the first 4 pages of the front matter just right.
Very first thing is turn on the Pilcrow. It is the paragraph sign. We normally call it the paragraph sign.
By turning that on, you actually have sort of an insight into the formatting that is taking place within your document. So it's useful when you've got hard returns, which you can see on the screen, all of those little Pilcrow symbols.
The title is 15 or fewer words, that there are 7 and 6 or 7 and 7 Pilcrows, which are hard returns. There is a section break, and also notice that there's no footer. So if there happens to be a footer when the Pilcrow is on, just erase that. And similarly, there should be no page numbers up at the top.
Where we left off with the Pilcrow on, you can see where the section break is, and that's after the title page. The beauty of a section break is that we're able to change the margins within a specific section. And so on the copyright page, we want to keep that information, which you can see is only 2 lines, but we want to keep that information centered on the page.
So it should look like this when they open it up, because I was expecting to see a whole bunch of Pilcrows, but that's actually, if they followed the template, there should only really be 1. Is that right?
That is correct. If I click on the layout menu and I go to this page setup group, I can quickly take a look at the margins. I'm going to show you the custom margins that are on this particular page. We want to make sure that the top margin is set at 4.5. The bottom margin is 4.7. And then the left margin throughout the entire manuscript stays at 1.5. And that 1.5 allows for the publisher to add a binding to the left-hand side of the page. And then the last margin, the right margin, is at 1 inch as well. Remember, I'm speaking specifically to the copyright page. The copyright symbol stays by, and then your full name.
Legal name, correct?
Yes, it should be your legal name. We want to stay consistent with that. And what we want to make sure is that your legal name is what you used at the university when you registered as a student.
Say that your name changes beyond your tenure at the school. How would you advise a student to deal with that?
I would advise them that on their CV or on their resume that they add a note. The published dissertation is under a prior name. The last part is to make sure that you've got the current year. We end this page with another section break. And if I go ahead and I scroll down and I click in here, if I wanted to double check my margins, I could. So my cursor is down into the 3rd page of that front matter. I would go to the layout menu and click on margins. And again, custom margins is at the very bottom. And now you can see kind of visually what I was describing, that the rest of the document has top, bottom, and right margins at 1 inch, and then the left margin is that 1.5. So I'm going to click OK. So now we're going to start seeing that the header section is active. We're not going to put a page number here, but we do see those 2 hard returns.
Full name for the student. We have hard returns after all those. We have 2 hard returns. We have, again, this is already populated on our template. And I do want to note that these little dots in between the words, that just represents a space. So anytime you have a space with the Pilcrow on, you will see those little dots, and that is normal. And then you'll have 2 more hard returns. Again, all of this is pre-populated if you're using our template. Please make sure that your committee person's name is spelled correctly. Okay, and then this would be how they served on your committee. So dissertation chair would be first, then normally it's the methodologist, then the content expert. But I think on our template, it just says committee person or committee member. Is that correct?
That is correct. Ours just says committee member. Yes.
So again, like if someone is watching from a different university, just want to check your own template.
Go down to the next page and copy the name of the university. And then we're going to come back up to the top of page 3, the page where the dean signs it. And right above the title, so if you can go ahead and insert that name of university.
This will be signed by the dean, and so the student doesn't have to do anything here. And there's a page break. This one is not a section break. Again, there's no page number here, and there is no footer or header on this page.
We want to go ahead and remove the hard return that happens to be at the top of this page. We do still have those 2 hard returns up in the header. Remove the word student, put in our name, and I'm going to go ahead and put my name in here. Remove a couple of those underlines. I prefer it to be spelt out. Once you have that date in there, go ahead and select the date and then underline it. And that gives that visual of the line to extend across the date completely.
All right, so Dr. Berges, there are a couple of different ways that a student can add their wet signature to the signature page. And again, it's called a wet signature because it's their actual signature instead of what we would do for DocuSign, which is choose one of the fonts that we think is pretty. So how would a student, what are some of these options for them? In addition to the one that we already indicated on our other video, what would you also recommend?
Another easy way to do this is to take a blank piece of white paper and sign your name. And once you've signed it, go ahead and take a picture of it using your cell phone. And on your cell phone, you would then be able to go to your pictures, your gallery, and email that image to yourself. Then you're able to take that picture and insert it. I'm going to go to the insert menu, and I'm going to go to pictures, inserting that image here above this. And
this is like magic.
Hopefully that was helpful. Let me help you get to graduation.